My name is Aleksandra Graovac. I'm coming from Zagreb, Croatia, and I'm very happy to see you, some of them again, and that I have a chance to speak to you during this conference. My topic is somehow connected with topics we heard before, because as this is a demographic conference, I was thinking that pro-natalist policy should have a goal to have to motivate parents to have more children, but somehow in our mind that large families are connected with poverty. So I try to share some thoughts about this problem with you as well. Is this really like this? We already saw these similar graphs, decline of population. This is in Croatia. This is statistics. At the very end is our source for these graphs. So it's really a huge problem. As we've seen, there is really more graves than cradles right now. Another problem is that we have a huge migration, and young people who migrate are in their fertile age, so their children, if they are born somewhere else in European Union. So this, our demographs call it demographic catastrophe in sense of decline of population. This is true. One of the problems is pure mathematics. Fertility rate now in Croatia is 1.4. It's a little bit more than in Europe, as we heard today, as it is 1.2. And economic migration to European Union countries, and also economic crisis. First, during COVID pandemic, number of children slightly was increased, but then suddenly it is again decreased significantly. Our state, Croatia, also tries to do something. So far, only in words, and the Central State Office for Demography and Youth has set a target fertility rate in Croatia of 1.8 children per woman by 2030. It is not enough for growing the population, so it's a very modest goal in figures, but in reality, even this is very optimistic, as there are huge tensions to accept demographic policy, because it requests money, sources, and we are not so rich, so it is the problem who will pay for kids in a way, if you want to have more children. So we are really in desperate need for efficient demographic policies if we don't want to solve the problems by immigration. What it can be a solution, but not so popular in this very moment because of some consequences we can see in Western countries, and some problems because of cohesion and other issues. So we need more childbirths. Maybe we need large families. This is one of theses, of course. It's not. We can discuss it. But it is, of course, associated with a negative sense with child poverty. And as we had a chance to hear about family and economics, when we talk about poverty, its definition of poverty in European Union, people are said to be living in poverty if their income and resources are so inadequate as to preclude them from having a standard of living considered acceptable in the society in which they live. So it's rather a subjective definition, and there are different definitions of poverty as well. For the purpose of statistics, it's expressed by 60% of the median. It's a middle income in the state, And it is used for statistic purposes to express and to detect how wealthy or poor state some population, some individuals in state are. In Croatia, this median is set at 10,000 euros in 2021 for two adults family. It depends how many children are in family, or if there is a single person or couple with children on a single parent family. But for an average couple, that is not average as we say, by fertility rate is 10,000 euros for two adults family with two children, according to Croatian Bureau of Statistics. It's not a huge amount of money. Try to live with this money a year, and this is not it is not enough. So we are not alone in the United European Union, because 25% of children are at risk of poverty or social exclusion in 2022 in European Union. Quite an interesting data, because we always think like children have to be protected, and this is alarming in a way. Even in very wealthy countries as Germany, they have, I think, 22 or 23 children, they live in poverty or in danger to live in poverty. And what are leading factors affecting child poverty? Household composition, so it's a greater risk for single parent families or families with two adults, as Professor Sobczyk showed. Writers of Polish constitutions are well aware of this, because these two forms of families are specially protected in the Polish constitution. So it is nothing new. They have 48 more chance to live in poverty than other children. Then parental employment status, but sadly it's not anymore like this, because it is shown that even families where parents work, they are employed, if they don't have sufficient income, they also live in poverty, so they are low paid jobs. They work for low paid jobs. Then parental education level and inadequate income support from the welfare system. And if we have a look at these factors, we can think as policymakers what we could do, what factors can be influenced by these data. What are poverty effects on children? So children in poverty encounter difficulties. They don't do well in school. They don't have their own room. They don't have money for books, for pencils, for notebooks. They don't enjoy good health, and it's not likely that they will realize their full potential later in life. So they are deprived at the start, as we saw by Professor Michalski, how he talked about what families we would like to have with good start and good chances from the very beginning. Then children later face a higher risk of becoming unemployed, poor, and socially excluded as adults. So there are some theories that explain this transmission to next generation of poverty, and of course their human and children's rights are endangered. What I, as family lawyer, can ask myself is there need for family law intervention? So one question is social protection. Another one is family law protection. That means when children are neglected or endangered, what we can do for them. Do we need to supervise parents, or we need to take children into the public care? So it opens another issue, that is human rights issue. So living in conditions of poverty can be a risky circumstance for the occurrence of a number of problems, including disturbed family relations. Of course, parents are frustrated, there is not enough means. We also know as family law lawyers that there is not enough means, economic assets. It's great dangers of divorce or breaking down the family. So family is endangered as well. Neglecting of needs and interests of children, of course, there is not enough money. In Croatia, we had a movement, and our colleagues from our faculty forced our government to ensure that every child in primary school has one meal a day. And because they found out also that many children don't eat regularly. So for the very beginning, it's very difficult to secure, because it should be warm meal, and there are not enough public kitchens and so on. But slowly it will become a standard, we hope so. And also it's inadequate parental treatment of children, because parents don't have enough time or enough knowledge or enough will to spend with children. And as we heard, first 3 years of childhood are the most important, is also our pediatrics say it's the most important time and valuable time to help children to gain some skills for later life. It also can some repercussions for labor law as well. But from research that was obtained by UNICEF in Croatia, conducted in 2015, it could not be concluded that the measures to protect the rights and well-being of children, of the child, I mean supervision or taking children into the public care, have been significantly imposed according to the participants. They were in poverty, so it's not good well written on my slide. But participants who use social welfare help did not have proportionally more family law measures that were upon them through social welfare office. So these researchers concluded that in order to be able to reach a more specific conclusion, it is necessary to have further research to obtain data in what proportion these measures are imposed in relation to the material status. One of my research maybe 2 decades ago showed up that children placed into public care were mostly unproportionally more from single parents families. They were mostly children in that time born out of a wedlock, when 10% or 8% of children in Croatia were born out of wedlock, were 3 times higher chance to be placed into the public care. But in fact, we could check everything, but there were children whose mothers, single parents didn't have enough means, so they agreed to place children also to childcare institutions. And mostly measure imposed by social welfare service was a measure of supervision of the exercise of parental care, and this is kind of support. I had chance to read some content of these measures. It was also likely the social welfare office will give you money. The supervisor went to the shop, bought food, and tried to help parents, mothers, to learn how to prepare proper meals, for example. So they didn't take children out of family, but they rather tried to help their parents to get competence for raising up children. Or they help them to invest this money into bathrooms and so on. What we can do as society, I also had some further readings, and I found this very nice Brother ecological system. How about child development, one of theories, and we can see microsystem, family, but beside, but also school, healthcare services, religious institution, neighbors, social welfare office, friends of family. So these circles are growing up. So we are back to the thesis that we are also responsible as society to help children to grow up in their families. If family lacks possibilities or know-how, then we as society, a social welfare office, and state have to do something. This thinking leads up to human rights of parents as well, and we don't have to forget it. So parents have right to respect for private and family life. And as Professor Michalski said, who we are to decide how many people we are going to have. This is also a human right to decide freely on number and space of birth of children. And systems who forbid to have children, or some Ceausescu system from 1967 when there was a strong pronatality policy, it was that forced people to have children. This is not acceptable anymore, so the only way is to make a good and positive environment for families and for children as well. So the right to a fair trial, because if rights of parents in poverty are endangered, then we should offer them free legal help to defend their parental rights. And this is also standard of the European Court of Human Rights, Article 6. So we have, as lawyers, we have to be very careful in all proceedings concerning removal children from their families, and also their social rights, social protections, family benefits, and so on. Mm-hmm. So are big families, large families, blessing or burden for society? It depends, of course, from case to case. What is also a standard that parents are primary caregivers and first responsible for their children. It's undeniable. Children have the right to be cared for by his or her parents, by their parents. They have right to standard of living, and placing children in public care due to poverty is contrary to right to family life and of children, according to Convention on the Rights of the Child, and the right to respect family life for parents and children and their siblings as well. And but in another way, more children is necessary. We want to stop demographic disaster. I'm in older age slowly, and I mean somebody has to take care for me. So I need children. I need next generations as we used to help our parents. But it has to say parents' free choice to have or not to have children, and states have duty to protect families, all states in every constitution, legally, economically, and by different policies. And I come back to this slide because I want you to remember how we live in society, in a union. In fact, in states we are family in a way, as well as we are in smaller communities. So from the smallest family, biological family we are coming from, but also in a broader sense, it would be well if this sense of to be member of a family will preserve. And something positive for the end, our family Toljanic, they are famous winemakers from beautiful island of Krk, and I invite you to visit it once. They have very famous wine, Žlahtina. It was drank also at the British court during coronations and something like this. And they are pronounced to be a large family by the European Large Families Confederation in the year of 2022. And it's interesting that our president of the state also arrived to this ceremony. They have 12 children. And if you have a look at them, they don't look like poor, dirty, not cared for children. They are very nice, socially very pleasant, let's say, and politically wrong family. I mean, everybody would like to have them here, and we could learn from each other and be proud to know them. This is what I would like to see in Europe, more people, and at the very end, I would like to make a contribution to dedicate this speech to my grandmother, and you will ask why. Because she had 12 kids, and the last one was my mother. So if she wasn't decide to have 12 children, and she decided she was my grandparents were well educated, I wouldn't be here. So I would like to mention she is not alive anymore, but I would like to say thank you. I have only one kid, but hope that my son will change this family form and that I will have more grandkids. Thank you very much.